Make sure you stick around until the end to see how you can win free gear and products. Hey, this is PJ with CLK Supplies, and I'm really excited to introduce you to our guest today. His name is Tom Lynch, and he is the founder of the Society of Professional Locksmiths, also known as the SOPL. Now, I'm really looking forward to this conversation. You know, Tom, he's a guy that doesn't shy away from controversy. He kind of says it the way he thinks it is. And he's also a super nice guy all at the same time. I've had countless hours of conversations with him. He really gets me thinking about a lot of different issues, and I'm excited to share a conversation with him with you. I hope you enjoy. Hey, Tom, thank you so much for coming on with me here today. And I know you have a lot going on, and I'm really excited to have this conversation with you.
Hey, thanks for having me, PJ. Anytime you need me, I'm here for you.
Yeah, Tom, thanks. So, I want to kind of start at the beginning here. And that was kind of your and I's first kind of conversation. I believe you called me up, what was it, 2012 or so? Do you remember this at all?
Yeah, it seems like it's history, right? So far back. Sure, I spotted your work. I spotted your website. I kind of started to dig in on it, and I saw some talent that I felt was a winner. And sure enough, here you are now, and you're just doing great.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I still remember sitting at my desk and they paged me and they're like, "Hey, Tom Lynch with the Society of Professional Locksmiths is on the phone." I'm like, "Uh-oh, am I in trouble or something? Or what did I do?" So I'm really excited to the name Tom Lynch in the industry. You're a very large personality in this industry, right? And I'm really excited to show everyone kind of the other side of Tom Lynch, right? The side that is just involved in with everything going on, and really a thought leader in a lot of ways in the industry. I know you and I have had hours and hours of conversations talking about different aspects of the industry, the good, the bad, what can we do about it? And so to be able to take these kind of conversations that we have and record it and let everyone listen, and I'm honestly really excited about it.
I appreciate that. And I feel the same way.
So yeah, it'd be fun. So I want to start at the beginning of when did you get into locksmithing, and what kind of made you want to get into it?
That's an interesting story. So back around 1985, I had a foster brother. My parents used to take boys out of the home up here in New York, and one of them turned out to be the locksmith for Leona Helmsley, which back in the day was prior to Donald Trump with all of the properties in New York City. So he had gotten injured working on a door that had fallen on him, messed up his neck. So I was asked to go and hustle and help him out. And I didn't know anything about it, to be honest with you. And then just did so well that he felt that I needed to go out on my own. And he took me to the George Washington Bridge overpass in Fort Lee and pointed out to all the cars and was explaining to me that every one of those cars had a key that operated it, and every key had a key ring that had a house key, a padlock key, a business key, and just explained how this was a great business, that you could go anywhere in the United States and get employment. And he was right. And it's an excellent business, an excellent income stream, so to speak. So that's how I got into it. Then I just started hustling, and the next thing you know, I got picked up by a couple of real good locksmiths in New Jersey that brought me into their association. And then from there, everything else blossomed. And that's how I got started. I started with a $45 car opening kit and just was hustling doing car openings. Then it went to making car keys, into residential, and then into commercial, into cameras. So each step was a progression. I didn't take it all on at one time, and I don't recommend that for anybody. Become the master of a particular skill, then move on to the next skill set.
Okay. Interesting. So growing up then, you didn't really like locksmithing, locks and keys up until that point with your friend there. Like you knew, like it never really had crossed your mind.
No, no, not necessarily. But I was always the type, and this is the best personality for being a locksmith. If someone tells you you can't do something, and you're motivated to do it, and that's the
Yeah.
best part. Is I don't want to say defeating a lock, but it's accomplishing the job, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, prior to that, no, I didn't.
So I'm kind of curious as you're talking about this. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Uh, I don't know that I've grown up. That's the issue.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely the idea of teaching was definitely in my trick bag. So this was a natural progression for me. As I learned and became more aware of everything, I felt I had to pay it back or pay it forward because of how I was gifted, by my foster brother and others that helped me along the way. I was lucky. I had good players, good people that really taught me an enormous amount.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Tom, I actually say the same thing to my kids. They're always talking about what they want to be when they grow up. And I always say, is like, do you guys have any idea what I can be when I grow up? So I get you there. So moving forward, so you're the founder of the SOPL, the Society of Professional Locksmiths.
Yes.
What year did you start that organization in?
It was started around 2006. There was, again, another progression, as I talked about. And again, it was kind of spurred on by, again, people saying that certain things couldn't be done. And I knew it could be if they just gave it an effort. In 2006, I began Lock Radio. It was the first internet radio station that was, complete with a host of things. Now, I wasn't the first person to ever have a locksmith radio station. The first person was Sal Shalizzi from New York City. Sal had an AM radio station up here. So that you're going way back. You'll have to research that. But yeah, he was a pretty cool cat. So I was the first to do the internet radio. And then from there, we progressed into platform, educational LMS platform for offering the first online training and proficiency testing. And again, this was all spurred on by individuals in our industry that kept saying that, one, it couldn't be done, two, it didn't need to be done. And obviously I saw what was coming ahead with the internet, and now the internet's just flourishing with Zoom training and manufacturers doing everything online. So we kind of got a head start.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when you look at what you started doing in the, 2006-ish compared to where kind of everything is today, I mean, you were a good decade ahead of that.
Yeah.
And, I remember I don't know where, but I did hear of Lock Radio many years ago. And I remember tuning in, and it was it was like this fun, like, semi-party, semi-hanging out with friends, at the same time discussing locksmithing type stuff. So that was a good. How many years did you broadcast that for?
I'd have to go back and check, but it was at least 2 years. But you're right. It was fun. Everything that we did, including the jingles, and everybody can go to our website. I think if you go down to the bottom of the page, there's a news link. It'll take you to some of the Lock Radio interviews and the jingles. It was all locksmiths. I mean, we would sit around and guys would be eating pizza, possibly drinking a couple of beers, and we would make the funniest jingles you ever heard. And we're laughing because it was common people doing uncommon things, and that's exactly what this industry is all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And there's something, something I've always really respected about you that I haven't, I probably haven't talked to you very much about, is the fact that in industries, and in our industry in particular, like locksmithing, there's a lot of issues that kind of need to be talked about,
Sure.
Need to be, like really thought through, right? Just need a good think through. And you've always been one to voice your opinion. Right. And I know that's definitely got you into some trouble over the years. At the same time, I have to say, the hours that we have spent on the phone together talking in the evenings, it's like midnight your time, right? We're just burning the time away.
Sure.
You really come at it from a place of wanting to be helpful, a place of really just trying to think through the entire issue. And I think that's something that is great and needed, even though you kind of get a little bit of blowback for it from time to time.
Sure. Well, and that all comes to, looking at it from this perspective. It's cultish, some of the things that I see, and I don't agree with that, because the locksmith is essentially a very independent. And what I have seen in some of the changes along the way is that there's become this cultish community, a culture that has lost its way in the independent position or thought. Like you said, if I oppose something and I voice it, there seems to be a lot of shrill reaction. But sometimes these discussions need to be made because everybody's afraid to start that discussion for fear of that. Well, I'm not afraid of that, and that's where moving forward or being a disruptive innovation makes you different than everybody else. I didn't know who I was for a long time until someone said that, you're a disruptive innovator. And we all kind of laughed about it because it was true, but it was good. It's in a good way to be that person. As far as the industry and the things that I'm seeing, I see a lot of mergers and acquisitions. I see the Borgs of the industry, getting larger. And again, this flies in the face of the independents and the SOPL, which we represent, the hardworking mom and pops, the makers, the tinkerers, the guys on the street that are making things happen. We're losing some of that craftsmanship because of this. I'm seeing a lot of parts changers. I'm not seeing where people are being innovative and taking on some of the creative tasks that we have in the past. Creating, even taking a simple lock set and finding a way to modify that to behave in a different way, completely contrary. I'm seeing that slip away. And that does concern me because, again, that's what makes this exciting. And I once did an interview on a talk podcast. I think it was called Work Stew, where I said locksmithing is sexy. It is, it's kind of a cool, fun thing. And it seems like we've lost it. And this cultishness that I'm seeing, especially on the internet, I see it on some of this social media. You can't talk about a contrary issue because somebody gets upset. What kind of machine do you use? And if you don't use this machine, it's craziness. It really is, because the whole goal here for any locksmith out there is, one, to make money and put food on the table. Okay. The other is to really immerse yourself in a craft where you are a content expert, that you actually can talk the talk. You don't have to rely on making other people happy, because if you don't, they won't help you. Well, there's a lot of help out there, and there's a lot of good guys. So, so that's what I see happening. The merger acquisition thing bothers me a lot, because it just seems like, the locksmith is being turned into just labor to go out and change parts, not to think. And that's not what we're about. Locksmithing also, you got to be a great salesman. If you can't go out and sell something, then you're pretty much useless, at least to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I think really everything you're saying really plays to the point where if people were to, I think, get to know you the way I've gotten to know you, they'll realize that you're really coming at it like sometimes you have to poke an issue for a while to really start to kind of get your head around it. Right.
Yeah. Listen, so, I have some amazing friends in this industry. They're really good guys. I don't have to conform in order to survive. Okay. And I want everybody out there that's listening to understand that I come from the position of trying to help you and trying to enlighten you to understand that you can be that independent person, that you can explore different things and you can succeed, but you're right. I mean, you have to raise these issues, and the SOPL has been on the forefront of that. We did not agree with the licensing aspect, and we explained and we articulated it very eloquently. Some people took it the wrong way. They got upset by it. But hey, this was a discussion that for years, nobody would open that door because they were afraid of the blowback. Well, guess what? Here we are, fast forward, and I'd like to say that I was right and we were right. It hasn't helped the industry, in my opinion. And I can debate this with anybody if they won't get upset, and I'll probably win.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And, and in another episode, I think we should probably dive into that a little bit. Some of your, I mean, I obviously know your stance really well on that, but it'd be fun to kind of give everyone who doesn't know about it, just a way to kind of think about it, no matter where your opinion is, right? Like, I mean, the thing is we have to, in this industry, as we continue to move it along, right? We have to be willing to accept or at least hear ideas that maybe at first we're like,
listen,
maybe.
I get phone calls every day. And even if someone is in opposition or they don't like something that we have on our website, and there's a lot of issues that we need to, address, but I listen. I listen because that's the first part of finding the answer for everybody. But when you're shut down immediately, it just doesn't work. Time is actually my friend. So the longer it takes, it's fine with me. I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Now, when it comes to the SOPL, the Society of Professional Locksmiths.
Yes.
Topo Chico, that's what we like. You actually caught me right now without any sort of beverage.
Listen, I made sure today when I was running around that I got Topo Chico.
Oh, good, man. You know what? If we weren't sitting here doing this right now, recording, I would go grab one out of the fridge. Good man on that, I tell you. So so as far as the SOPL goes, right? Organizations as a whole, right? Whether it's like a local association or a national association, the dynamics have really changed with the internet with them, right? Yeah. And I'm kind of curious, like as far as for people who are watching this right now that maybe aren't members. Now, I know we have a lot of people who watch our stuff and are part of our Lockboss community are members. But the ones that aren't, like, what would be the reason that you would say for them to want to join the SOPL?
Well, it's funny you say that because I had a friend of mine who's got 30 some odd years, 40 years in the industry. He doesn't need anything, honestly. He's on his own. He's independent. That's the whole thought process, of association is collective thinking and the exchange of ideas and information. So he asked me the same question. And my answer was direct to him. Dignity. You'll get your dignity back because you'll be treated well. You'll be spoken to well. No newbie, so to speak. I hate that name, but that's what people call them, right? No newbie is going to be disrespected if they ask a question because they don't know. So we're here to help them. That's the whole point. I don't think we've ever had any rejection, from anybody that came genuinely looking for guidance. I mean, look, at one time we actually paid our members back for participating contributions, but we kind of lost that ability on platform changes. We offer online training 24 hours a day. We offer online proficiency testing. They can practice left and right for certifications, for licensings, and I don't care whose certification it is. The whole idea is to try to elevate the locksmiths so that they have confidence. It's a confidence game.
Sure.
But, we have a host of other things, and what's coming around the corner is going to be huge. I don't know if we talked about this, but we just acquired a 10,000 square foot space, which we are carving out for our headquarters as well as a training facility with some specialty hardware. We'll call it distribution or introduction, because, again, there's a lot of stuff out there that the locksmiths are not finding out about, and they need to because it's problem solving and it's great money makers. But yeah, I mean, the SOPL, we advocate. I don't know if people are aware that we've been written up by the Australian Maritime Museum, the New York Post. We've been on ABC. We've been on NBC, I believe, a host of others, the Today Show, and all of it was advocating for the locksmith. So, with that advocacy, and also we have spoken up when it came to licensing, we will bark, so to speak, because somebody has to do it. And as far as keeping the lights on, I mean, I'm working on the idea that everybody can join and it won't cost them anything, okay? Because we need to draw everybody back in so that they can kind of be deprogrammed from the cult, if that makes any sense, and bring that whole independence spirit, But yeah, I mean, we offer all kinds of things. If you go to our website, and that's the one thing people don't do, which is strange to me, click around on every link you can find. we've got more electronics, more things that you could, online do your own PowerPoint presentation. They're all automated and they're free. The only things that are not, the only place we have a firewall is some basic testing and our forum, so to speak. But even if you guys go and they register right now, they can register for free and have access to the 12 chapters of locksmithing online. But they can also get the book from you and study at home. That's what I prefer. I prefer to have a manual, but they can have that backup.
Sure.
And they can take the testing. So, yeah, I mean, I think advocacy is the best thing now. We have had belly to belly events. We have had live seminars, and we are getting on the road starting in July. We have some appearances in Chicago and elsewhere. So this should be exciting now that all this nonsense with COVID is over. We're getting on the road.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Tom, so if someone who's watching wants to get a hold of you, chat, maybe, like, what is the best way for them to do so? You want to should they email you, or what is the best way to get a hold of you?
They can call me, they can email me. My phone's ringing constantly. They can go to our website, to our contact us page, and shoot me. Somebody will get it. I don't get it first. It goes through admin, and then they'll contact me. But
okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're welcome to reach out.
Okay, so for the best part, just go to the SOPL.us,
Sure.
And then from there, hit the contact us, and it'll get to you if they have a question or something.
Sure. And it doesn't matter, even if they're not members. If they want to call, they have a question, we'll do our best to guide them. I think I had that happen the other day. Somebody called, they had an issue, and I directed them to a unique product that they never heard of, and they went out and made killer money with it.
Awesome. Very cool, Tom. Yeah. Very cool. So lastly, will you come back on and we can kind of talk about some of these issues and maybe kind of hash them out a little bit and kind of see where it takes us.
Yeah. Listen, I'm for it. I was even thinking about sparking up Lock Radio again after I see a lot of these YouTube stars and some of the things that they're doing. It's just killing me watching it. I mean, there are some good ones, and you're one of the best. But yeah, I was going to get the talk radio going back again. But I kind of like this. This is actually easier. I mean, you got to understand, when we started, we didn't go out and get sponsors. We don't pick people's pockets. We don't give control to the, big manufacturers that are going to push us around and tell us what we can and can't talk about. We're here to talk about everything and anything that's going to benefit the locksmith. So we started with pennies. I mean, we were stitching codes together, and we were trying to find things that we could manipulate to kind of deliver. And we've had some setbacks because of it. Because when all of a sudden, something's outdated, we're like with Flash, we kind of got screwed with this Flash, lack of support.
Yeah, when they discontinued. Yeah,
we had the best testing you could have seen. We could actually, and I'm going to tell everybody that's listening, we had the ability to take pictures of things that all you had to do was click on certain areas of the picture, and that would register as an answer, which is super cool. I can do this on an executable CD, and I will be producing them soon, because I have, again, in July, we're getting back on the road. So if anybody wants them, they can have them if it's going to help them.
Okay. Very cool, Tom. Well, you know what? Hey, I'm really happy to spend these few minutes together kind of introducing the SOPL to the entire Lockboss community. And I tell you what, at the end of the day, no matter what, every industry needs a Tom Lynch, okay? Every industry needs a Tom Lynch. And I definitely appreciate all of our conversations and our friendship, and I really look forward to the future.
Yeah, man, Lockboss. That was great. Yeah. Great idea. And we're going to circle right back to the opening conversation. Yeah, I found you out there on the internet, and I think you're one of the winners. You're a sleeper. If I could pick horses and bet on them the way I can pick on locksmiths, I'd be retired.
Oh, that's funny, Tom. Well, hey, I appreciate your support and our agreement that we have to sell the SOPL training that we do, and so I think it's fantastic, and I'm glad.
Yeah, I knew you would do it right. You're filling the vacuum that was left behind by Foley Belsaw with the way you put packages together. And that's tremendous. And that's going to be a legacy that I'm going to be proud of, that, you and I got together to do this.
Absolutely, Tom. Well, hey, thanks again now. And you are going to come live with us next Tuesday, right? And hang out and give some stuff away.
Sure, whatever you want. I'm in.
Awesome.
I'll make sure.
It'll be a blast. I can't wait for the rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
That will be sent your way. That'll be fun, right?
I'm all for it. Hit me with whatever you got.
Awesome, Tom. Well, hey, thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening, and I can't wait for Tom to come on live and come hang out with us Tuesday, 5:15 Pacific Standard Time. Ask Tom your questions. And make sure you go check him out at the SOPL.us. They've been a great friend and partner of us here at CLK Supplies, and we appreciate that. So thank you for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.
Okay, buddy. Take care.
I'm guessing if you just watched this video that you work with locks and keys. And to us here at CLK Supplies, that makes you a lock boss. And we want to hook you up. Here's how it works. Throughout the week, we post videos on YouTube, like the one you just watched. And all you need to do is comment on the videos and include the hashtag LockBoss. When you do this, you're automatically entered in to win one of 5 free prizes that we give out each and every week. No purchase necessary. So if you're a lock boss, join us each week to learn, grow, and win.